you have, CNN's John Berman and Claire Duffy, who, I don't know, might have landed the fake news network in pretty hot water after they did an entire segment. Okay. Imagine this. And I know I say imagine because nobody here in this building or anyone watching this is actually watching CNN. By the way, if anyone in this building is watching CNN, unironically, you're fired, especially if you work for me. Okay. But more importantly, you guys out there, you're not watching CNN. So let me explain to you that they did an entire segment shilling for the ICEBlock app and its creator, Joshua Aaron. Are you wondering, well, what is the ICEBlock app? Well, let me just, just watch some of this, okay?
The Trump administration steps up ICE raids and mass deportations. One tech developer is pushing back with an app designed to track ICE activity in real time. It's called ICEBlock, and it's controversial to say the least. Senator Claire Duffy is with us now. How does this work, Claire, and what are the legal implications?
Yeah, John, I talked with Joshua Aaron, who is the longtime tech worker who developed this platform, and he said he really wants it to be an early warning system for people about the location of immigrations and customs enforcement officers. So he says he does not want people interfering with those officers' activity, but he does want people to be able to avoid them altogether if they want. So you open the app, it looks like a map, and users can tap the map to report an ICE sighting in their area, and then everybody who uses the platform within 5 miles of that sighting will get a push alert. This is a free iPhone app. It is anonymous. Aaron says he doesn't collect any user data. And what I think is really interesting about this in this moment is we've seen so many of the biggest leaders in tech supporting President Trump. But Aaron is sort of an example of the fact that there are people within the tech industry who are really resistant to Trump's policies. I asked him what he would say to those tech leaders who, for example, were at the inauguration. Here's what he told me. Take a listen.
I understand that you have shareholders to report to. I understand that you have employees that need their paychecks. But at what point do you say enough is enough?
And John, I should say that ICE did not respond when I asked them about this platform and about Aaron's opposition to their activity.
Should you? Oh, yes, because ICE should definitely change their policy based on what some random man by the name of, what was it? Joshua Aaron thinks about, like rounding up illegal criminals who shouldn't have been here to get them the hell out of our country, which is what we just voted on. So, you heard her say, oh, well, he doesn't want you to interfere. He would never suggest something like that. He just wants people to be able to avoid it. Really, that's so strange because DHS reported a 500% increase in violence against ICE agents after this. I wonder if the two could be related. And, Tom Homan actually also gave some examples of how this app could further increase the violence. He said it's only a matter of time before ICE officers are going to be ambushed by some nut, like what happened in LA, throwing a Molotov cocktail and throwing bricks at these officers. And so you're left wondering, is there going to be accountability for these news networks who want to go on and shill and push people to go download something so that these ICE officers can be put more at risk? And again, remember, these are people who are literally just doing what they are, they're just doing their jobs, which is a very, very noble job, by the way, ridding our country of criminals. It's not like these are, people who are turning on the gas chambers in the concentration camps and they're like, well, they're just doing their jobs. No, these are people who are trying to protect Americans because, this is our country. And we come first. And so you have DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, who was asked about the app and CNN's role in all of this. And she is coming to you, and of course, President Trump, live from Alligator Alcatraz. Here's what both of them had to say.
And Madam Secretary, CNN yesterday pushed an app that lets you track where ICE agents are. Tom Homan was saying that perhaps CNN should be prosecuted for that. That's obstruction of law enforcement. Your response?
Yeah, we're working with the Department of Justice to see if we can prosecute them for that, because what they're doing is actively encouraging people to avoid law enforcement activities, operations, and we're going to actually go after them and prosecute them with the partnership of PAM if we can, because what they're doing, we believe, is illegal.
And they may be prosecuted also for having given false reports on the attack in Iran. They were given totally false reports. It was totally obliterated. And our people have to be celebrated, not come home and say, what do you mean we didn't hit the target? We hit the target first. The pilots came home and they said we hit the target first. So they may be very well prosecuted for that.
Listen, it's going to be a long list if we're prosecuting people who are aiding and abetting illegals. You've got The Intercept, some woman by the name of Natasha Leonard. I don't know. I've never heard of her, but I hope that they prosecute her too. ICE agents deserve no privacy is her little article there. Attempts by the public to keep tabs on ICE are provoking predictable and pathetic responses from the government. Then you've got Slate, some person by the name of Nitish Pawa. Is that female or male? Nitish. Anyone have any guesses? Nitish? Nitish?
How can you say that anyway, whether they're male or female? That is bigoted.
It is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I love being bigoted. Immigration crackdowns are booming. So is the digital resistance fighting them. As ICE ramps up under Trump 2.0, a scrappy movement of techies is creating real-time tools to resist. And this person also lists a handful of other apps and developers that work similarly to ICEBlock. So I'm like, arresting these people, don't threaten me with a good time. And I'm not just saying because they disagree with me. I'm saying because they are literally trying to interfere with law enforcement actions, and add that to the list of all of the other things that they've done to make our country worse. I'm just saying I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't lose any sleep if these people ended up with actual repercussions for all of the division that they sow.
Well, what would be the punishment if they interfered, say, with the FBI going after a bank robber?
Right. I mean, they would be arrested.
Of course they would. I mean, a crime is a crime.
Yeah.
I mean, people will talk about the different gradations in crime, but we're seeing ICE go after MS-13 members. I mean, these aren't good people. And by the way, never trust.
Are you saying MS-13 members are not good people? I just want to make sure.
Well, yes.
I want to give you a chance. I want to give you a chance to clarify what you're saying, Matt Marsden. Are you saying that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
Right. But look, the moral of the story is never trust a tech bro that has two first names as his name. I'm just saying. And even like
Joshua Aaron.
Joshua Aaron.
Two first names for sure.
It is two first names. So, I mean, look, this is despicable. Of course, it gives the left an opportunity to be violent against the police. This is what I'm calling on everyone to do right now. Go onto the ICE app and just make it up.
Yep. I was thinking
on ICEBlock, sorry. Yeah. ICEBlock, not the ICE app. Go into ICEBlock and just everybody who watches the show, just start putting them out. Oh, there's a raid here, there's a raid there.
Mm-hmm.
They'll soon stop. Mm-hmm. That's what we've got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally
It's disgusting.
Agree. I know, it really is.
Yeah, this subject is crazy because I've not seen anything, at least not as of recent, that the authoritarian left is so really hell-bent on going to bat for, right? It's really, really interesting, especially looking at, where the country's headed, some of the issues that plague it, especially the citizens that are already here. And they instead are shilling on behalf of people that quite literally do not pay any sort of taxes. They're not stolen from the government. In fact, they are giving money. They're giving money in a lot of cases.
A whole hell of a lot more than you.
And that is true. They are giving money. They're giving them hell. That's a lot of some of the gripe with what's been stripped from the Big Beautiful Bill is that it doesn't go far enough to prevent that, like especially like funding of like sanctuary cities and all this other stuff, which got gutted from it. It becomes a problem. But that's why, right? It's because Republicans. I will empathize with you on this. In that, well, Trump more so, not necessarily Republicans. At least this administration, as far as some of its goals, in that it's fighting on different fronts. Yeah. While you have like the courts, which we talked a lot about last week, and some of the victories that they were able to obtain there, you also have obviously the general citizenry that is just against anything that you do, or rather they're trying to attempt to make it as difficult as possible for you to kind of act things out. And, with guys that are in the Congress and people that are big advocates, be it, again, not just like literal advocates, but CNN, it's an advocacy group as far as I'm concerned. They are just, parade themselves around as if they are some legitimate form of journalism or media, and they aren't really. But their goal is, of course, to kind of get in the way. That's the whole point of the promotion of this app, is to get in the way, really, of anything that Trump is enacting. And again, it's not on the things that are bad, which is what gets me about the leftists. I think we talked about this extensively during Trump's first administration. Well, I'm like, guys, there's a list of things that you can grill Donald Trump on that are objectively bad as far as I'm concerned for liberty. You guys choose to completely ignore every single one of those and start reaching for other bullshit, right? And this is why nobody takes you serious on anything that it's gone. Yeah, nobody takes you serious on anything that you advocate. And on this subject, I do think that it's a losing matter. Like, I do think that the public opinion on just how they approach immigration has sort of changed over the last years, especially as they saw how this stuff sort of impacted industries. But guys, the economy isn't getting much better. People are feeling that strain. When I say it's not getting much better, I'm saying that, like, people. It's one thing to have a short period of time where you're struggling, but, when that short period becomes a medium to long-term period, people are like, damn, when am I going to start reaping the benefits for all the money that you're stealing from me? And that's a totally justified position of any American that is out there. But right now, the left is prioritizing people. Again, they don't get stolen from. In fact, they take the money that's stolen from you.
And here's the thing, like, normal people look and they go, well, before they even get at the bloat in the government, right, which is your point, right? Like, they go, hang on a minute, you're giving all this money and prioritizing legals. Let's get rid of them first. It really does become a focal point to say, you've got to deal with this. Yeah. And like you said, Eric, it's a huge losing battle, especially considering the biggest mistake they did was try and get the Maryland father back. That was just so stupid.
What are you talking about? I think they should do that more.
They start to tell on themselves.
Yeah, but that's the point. That it's not. How many times have we said this? It's not about, like, the granny that's making her. What are those things called? Pupusas.
They are very good too. You ever get a chance to taste a pupusa? I mean, it's very high carb, but it is delicious.
But everything that's high carb is delicious, pretty much. But we know now. They've told on themselves. They're trying to get gang members back into the country. And by the way, it costs money to go and get the planes there and bring them back. And people are like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, my life is not getting better, and you are focused on that. There's not even you're not even advocating. And by the way, the black community is really seeing this right now, because they're like, hang on a minute, like, you guys are meant to be batting for us, and what? Like, you don't care? And we're like, we've always told you that they don't care. They've never cared. And so now you have to start thinking, what is the end game?
Yeah.
What is the benefit they're going to get from this?
Well, I mean, listen, once we finally get the census straightened out and we get all of these illegals out of here, and President Trump has said that he is totally in favor of a bill that would strip illegal aliens from the census, which of course those numbers would have to be adjusted. And there are a lot of blue states and blue, areas that, like, their numbers would go way down. And I think ultimately, I can't think of another reason why they would be grabbing onto this for dear life, other than they just really, really need those numbers.
Well, yeah, it's benefiting them in multiple ways for sure. And that's, if it weren't at all a benefit to their base, they would not be putting this at the forefront of really any policy that they're leading with, which, again, this stuff does not impact me. They like to pretend that it does, but it doesn't impact me, not in the way that they think that it does. Like, these guys getting up out of here or going to the countries that they come from, like, whatever to me. Like, that, to me and my family, we got other struggles and other stuff that we have to worry about. I think that's the same that can be said for most everybody else, but for some odd reason, Democrats are leading with it, trying to make it everybody everybody else's problem. And unfortunately, there are a lot of young, especially gullible people that will eat with that as well. Oh, hey, we're helping these people. Nobody's illegal. All this other BS, all the other terms and stuff that they throw out there. And again, I'm looking at it strictly from a libertarian sense, mainly because, look, I'm stolen from. It hasn't stopped, and in fact, you're asking me for more. Each year goes by, these crack smokers out there in the federal government are asking me expecting more money from me in some capacity. You're stealing from me, and through various wealth regions. It's not just like directly, like here's a welfare check, and spend the money on whatever you want. That's also part of it. Hell, I want to get rid of that domestically as well. But also, even in like refugee resettlement, just as an example, it's one of the most rotten programs that exists on the book. I've been talking about it for 15 years. The refugee resettlement program is literally taxpayer money I hate to say taxpayer, you're being stolen from, because it's not like you're wanting to pay those. Nobody voluntarily pays taxes, because otherwise nobody would pay them. You're being stolen from, and what they're doing is redistributing that money to relocate people into this country. That's one of the most foul things that I could possibly think of. And again, context matters in that you're constantly asking people for more money, man. So even just from a strictly economic, libertarian perspective, it's something that is very, very bizarre that Democrats are leading with and trying to make it seem like it's actually my problem that these guys are being rounded up and getting up out of here.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.